This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, but the real star today show is the patron group, our patron team, the wonderful guys who help make the Simpit that much better. And in the booth with me now is Nick and Josh, two of our regulars in the chat room on our Discord chat, guys I talk with each and every day. And they're both going to be here giving me a hand, just talking about the guys as much as calling the action. So we all have personal experiences with all the people in this room. Mostly the same people we saw in the last race, maybe a few changeovers here and there. But for the most part, the same guys will be here in our second race. And I don't know that we'll always do a two-race format. I think normally it'll be a one race, but it kind of seemed special to take advantage of the free content on iRacing in terms of, well, free if you have a membership, but not needing to buy any DLC content. And then being able to run two disciplines at the same track. Sounded kind of fun. That's what we went with. So, Nick, Josh, how you guys doing? What do you think is going to be the outcome of this one?
Well, I'm doing awesome. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting race, but could be anyone. I don't know. It's going to be carnage, like you said.
I think it's going to be a bit tough for these guys. You know, I'm just taking a look here at Joa Antonio's car. And this guy makes me laugh all the time. We talk about the regular conversations we have on Discord. And Joa is the one, if you've seen any of them, he had the Grand Theft Auto version of me. He had the Star Trek version of me. He loves doing these shots of me in various things that I'm not. And his truck is downright hysterical. Let's see if we can get a better view. I wasn't planning on really showing you guys, but there it is. Bring it. And a big picture of me. I have a feeling he's going to get rear-ended by somebody. He is begging for it with a picture of me on his bumper.
I scraped the wall.
And,
the perfect Photoshop in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that was a beautiful one, for sure.
Yeah, I like that baby blue color on the vehicle.
And on the front, we have a different shot of me. Anyway, Joa makes me laugh all the time, and once again, here at the race, he's done the same thing. Looks like qualifying is now underway. The game thinks I'm a contestant, which means I don't think I'm going to be able to actually see anybody's qualifying. So all I'll be able to do is see the lap times tick in. Qualifying is only 5 minutes long, so it won't be a long time until we're underway with the race here. What about you, Josh? Are you seeing anybody out on track?
I'm seeing Lee Martinez, Doug Harley.
Oh, you're
Brandon Waters.
You're doing it smarter than I am. How about you, Nick?
Not yet.
Well, tell me who you're looking at then, Josh.
I'm looking at Lee Martinez in that green and black Simpit number 072 truck.
Oh, that doesn't help. I was like, oh, you say it and I'll follow it. Well, I can't see it. That doesn't work. Never mind. Sorry.
Brandon Waters is in the number 14 Jim Beam pickup truck.
So I'm going to need our viewing audience out there to really use their imagination. You're going to have to dig down deep into that brain and just imagine that green and black truck of William Martinez running around the track out there.
I was thinking of UFOs and aliens, but
So, for those just joining the stream, this is actually the second part. The first part ended about a half an hour ago. I see some first lap qualifying times coming in now. Billy Strange with a 30.415. Tom Monpas with a 30.458. He won the first race. Tom Dudek won the first race. It was Tom Monpas, a.k.a. Tom Jones, everybody.
Joe Antonio, 30.347.
Yes, the things are shuffling around here. We have 2 minutes done. The guys can use up to that 5 minutes, but it only takes about a minute and a half to get your qualifying run done and over.
Billy Strange beat that
Looks like Billy's going in to make up for what happened last race. Uh-oh.
Look out for Billy Strange, everybody. And even though I can't pull his car up now, if you're watching this and you don't know, a few of our good friends are guys who actually stream on other channels. And immediately coming to mind is Billy Strange as he sits in that number one spot with a 30.324. About 21 hundredths faster than Joa Antonio with that 30.347. But Billy Strange, he has a great channel on YouTube. You can check it out. He does podcasts. He does Talking Drives. He does a bunch of cool content, and you can check that out at Billy Strange Racing on YouTube. Also on our grid today, running in 9th currently, 30.675 in 9th place, is Sean Sebren. And he is also known by Pro Sim TNT. And you can search for Pro Sim TNT on YouTube and find his streaming. He shows a lot of the races he runs with us on Thursday and Friday night in the Sim Racing System Series, which we just concluded the 90s DTM Revival Series. And now we're moving on to the Lotus Exos 125, which should make for a very good Formula 3 type. Is that about right, guys? Formula 3 type experience?
The Lotus?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a F1 minus like a few things. I don't know. Something like that. It's almost F1-ish.
It's F1-ish for sure. It looks all F1. It drives a little F3, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just down on horsepower, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe a few other settings. So, 343 concluded in qualifying, and I apologize for not being able to bring you the qualifying. This will not happen again as I learn my lessons. And honestly, this is the first time I've ever streamed and broadcast a race before, where I was the one behind doing the actual stream. I've done commentary, but not done the actual stream itself.
Yeah, Mike Longman coming on pit road, he finished his qualifying. He's number 18, unsponsored.
So, and we are at 4 minutes, 15 seconds. I'm assuming everyone who's going to get a run in has gotten a run in. So let's go ahead and get through the leaderboard and what we're looking at. Billy Strange, followed by Joa Antonio. David Clymer, I don't think David was in our first race. David Clymer here for race number 2 in 3rd spot. Thomas Dudek in 4th. Thomas Monpas in 5th. Will A. Lemonen in 6th. Doug Hawley in 7th. Grant Henderson in 8th. Sean Sebran in 9th, and Severiano Espinoza in 10th. Followed by Brandon Waters, Brandon Powell, William Martinez, Mike Wellman, Jesse Conroy, and John Hill pulling a trick out of the book. Did not set a qualifying lap. Neither has Leif Hellberg, John Crane, or Robert Winsler.
And from Mitchie, he says, greetings. He would like to participate, but he's busy with testing FSR.
Too bad. It would have been great to have Mitchie out in this field. We would have been making Mitchie do things he's not necessarily comfortable with, especially this oval run here. This should be interesting as our drivers instantly switch from first driving Mazda Miatas to now driving these old school 2013. I can't believe I'm saying that's old school.
It came out 2009, 2010. If I checked the records right.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, it's circa that. Circa around that time.
Yes, good luck, everybody.
Sean Sebran in that Doritos looking car. I like that look. Looking in at Severano Espinoza. Doug Hawley in the Texaco car.
Good luck.
And Tom Montpas in the
Good luck,
Simpit.
everybody.
Love seeing all the Simpit stickers and logos on people's cars.
Doug, how are you?
That makes me feel real good. And there's Billy Strange, our leader, sitting on the pole right now, ready to get things underway. We will do a pace lap. And one car I did...
So this is the bumper tag segment of tonight's programming, correct?
Joa Antonio. I want to hear these guys. I'm just going to shut up.
Man, it's gonna get crazy, all those fast guys up there. I don't know how long they're gonna be able to keep it together without crashing.
Oh, it's gonna be quite close.
They're all gonna be able to keep up with each other if everything goes well. Like, all the way up to like the 10th spot at least.
Yeah, they're gonna check the inside and outside lanes.
I do have to John Lewis for apologizing to everybody. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Oh, everybody here knows everybody, so it's really cool. You know, they're giving each other a hard time. Some of it a little more serious than others,
John,
but
you're just scared. You don't want to talk.
all in perspective.
Yeah, I remember when this track was called Lowe's Motor Speedway from 98 to 09. Good times.
All right, here goes the start of the race. We are doing it behind the pace car. Billy Strange will take them to the green and set the pace. Joa Antonio to the outside. And again, I'm going to just thank each and every one of you who chose to use a Simpit logo on your car. I didn't even expect to see that kind of turnout. Look at that there. Thomas Dudek in the Simpit colors. We got Tom Monpas in the Simpit colors. Willie Lemon in the Simpit colors. Oh,
Yeah.
I lost.
There's a Simpit color rainbow.
I lost my.
I don't think you guys ever heard me do a bar of voice. But, well, welcome to the Solid Noise Speedway Concord. Even though it was built more than 4 decades ago, drivers still love to race at this mile-and-a-half quad oval. If Daytona is the pinnacle of NASCAR racing, then Charlotte has to be just a bumper behind. Fans flock to the largest sports facility in the Southeast, home track to many of NASCAR's teams.
There you have it from Blue Hammer Stat King Josh. All right, as they get ready to watch the pace car pulling down pit lane, coming out of turn 4 at Charlotte, 75 laps to go. Cautions will be flying when we have problems. See if they can get this underway. Green, this is not their usual cup of tea, so to speak. A lot of these guys are not familiar with oval racing, and we've thrown them into the deep end, and so far things are looking good. Billy Strange out to an early lead. And I believe that's...
What if something goes wrong? What if Joe
That's David Clymer, who I did some practice with David yesterday. He's very, very fast, and he's sitting there right behind Billy Strange. Running a little bit higher a line, and you can see Joa there in 3rd place running that low line. And we complete lap 1, caution free. Well done, guys.
Yeah, big clap right there.
And we can see the field starting to spread out just a little bit. Not a big gap between 1st and 2nd. That battle between... Oh, somebody shooting down low. Climber to the outside. Might just be kind of keeping things cool right now. Lots of time to get it done. 2 laps. Laps are just going to tick by at about 30 seconds a lap here.
Monpas and Paulie are getting close to each other. Battle for 5th and 6th.
Little bit of a gap back to Joe Antonio, and the other thing about these trucks is they really do wear the tires. If you push too hard, you will lose. That right front tire will heat up, becomes very difficult to drive, and you have to then cool that tire back down before you're going to have any chance of going fast.
Yeah, Sean, Billy's definitely a master of doing that, of just saving the tires and driving it smooth, all consistent. I think he's probably going to micromanage everyone to death and just run away with it.
And it's looking right now like he's in a great position to do that. He's got David Clymer staying right in his draft, using the draft when he wants. It seems, I'm not sure if he's running that high line to purposely get out of the draft and get some downforce, or is he doing it just because that's the line he likes to drive?
It might be a smoother line.
It might be a lot better up there because our track temperatures are at 70 degrees Fahrenheit, same as the weather, which is probably cloudy.
Climber to the outside. He's a nose ahead on the outside. Billy Strange doesn't carry as much speed, and he falls back to 2nd place, so it's now Climber, Strange, Antonio.
And about these trucks and their tires, if you go, put these trucks to the limit, you're going to wear the tires out so quick in 4 to 5 laps.
And now we see Joa Antonio starting to move up on the bumper, Billy Strange, and right behind him is Tom Dudek in that red and black truck, the 2nd red and black with the yellow numbers. That's Tom Dudek. And that is Tom Monpas back there in the orange truck in 5th place, just a little bit further back.
Any chance you think Billy did that on purpose to save his tires for the race to get the draft instead of being first guy? Or?
You know, that's very possible, and it wouldn't be a bad move from what I experienced in testing. And these guys are doing a great job. We expected a lot of carnage. Here we are already 7 laps into the race. I see cars trying to swerve at the back of the grid. Why don't we go back in the grid just a little bit and see what's going on back here. 2 wide right now. It looks like that's the number 14 truck of Brandon Waters to the inside of Espinoza, Severiano Espinoza, and Brandon Waters moves up into that 8th position. So a little shuffling around. Guys are definitely giving each other a little bit of room, making clean passes so far. And we are now into that range, believe it or not, we are now into that range where tire wear is already starting to become a factor. Those who are pushing too hard are going to really start having a hard time keeping that truck low through the corners. You're going to see other guys who kept their tires cool just blow right by, and at some point we might even see some green flag pits if this runs the way it's looking right now, which would be terrific.
And also very interesting too, so hopefully they don't react on green flag pit stops.
So at this point, it's about a half second of a lead with Dave Clymer over Billy Strange. And about 3/10 of a second back to Joe Antonio back in third. And then you've got a trail car. You can see Tom Dudek right there on the back of Joe Antonio in that light blue car. And that means that Tom Dudek, if we were to get in his car and see what Tom sees, we'll get another good chuckle. Get in the cockpit view, and what is it? Bring it. Bring it. There it is. So we'll just ride along here with Tom and see if he's tempted to tap that bumper with my smiling face on the back of it.
That always makes me laugh inside.
Al, if we get one, I'm going to find it and show it to you if we can. Right now, everything seems to be running clean. It's not to say somebody hasn't maybe had an incident on their own, but nothing of consequence, nothing that's brought out a yellow. We see Tom.
A lot of respect out there on the track today.
Yeah, there is, and we expect it to be a little bit. Oh, yellow flag is out.
Oh, yep.
So somewhere we have trouble. Let's see if we can figure out where that trouble.
Jesse Conroy in a 19. He got damage on his right side.
Ooh, I see the one. Robert Winsler's a mess and now on pit lane. Let's back up and see what happened there. As these guys get things sorted under caution, we can go back and take a look.
Yeah, Jesse Conroy's truck's all beat up.
Jesse Conroy is in the 19 truck. Robert Winsler in the 1. And who is that right ahead? That is actually the 18 truck of Mike Willman. Just ahead. Oh, that was up ahead of them. They ran into that. 217. Severano Espinoza.
Spread out. Tell you about that, guys. Nice.
Espinoza going to the outside of the 072 of William Martinez. And out there on the outside, I'm not sure that was who he was on the outside of there, the yellow and green.
The wheels coming down for the pit stops.
247. That's Brandon Powell on the inside. So just out on the outside, got loose on his own, but then he's right in the way. And it looks like 3 or 4 other trucks got involved in that. Mike Willman, Robert Winsler, and Jesse Conroy, unfortunately, all taking on damage as we check in with the leaders. And there they are in pit lane right now. Let's go ahead and get a better camera angle for the chase off of pit lane. See Billy Strange in the first line. David Clymer away to the line, no problem. Billy Strange underway. Looks like he'll line up second for the restart.
Joe Antonio lost a couple of spots. I believe he's down to 5th. Or it was already 5th.
Yeah, might add a little bit of damage. Maybe he touched the outside wall and was on pit lane a little longer. Allowed Tom Dudek to get by, it looks like, up into, I was going to say 3rd, but somebody else has moved up.
75-40 car. Thank you.
Let's go the other way. Sorry, guys. No, Billy Strange. Who's that right behind Billy Strange? That's Doug Hawley.
Yep.
Doug Hawley up to 3rd place on pit lane. Good pit stop by Doug.
Yeah, keep in mind, Doug can strike at any time. He's always a threat.
Yeah, Doug is really fast. He, I believe that was Doug who ran me down with no problem whatsoever last night. So let's see if I can stay with the pace car and find out when those lights go out.
Let me slow down before I hit somebody.
Lights are still on the pace car, so we'll find out if they turn the pace car lights off this time by. That'll let us know that that is the one to go. Right now we still see the flashing lights. We can get in car with Billy Strange. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to get back in Tom Dudek's truck And watch this restart from inside the truck of Tom Dudek running in 4th place. So they're on the backstretch. Lights are still on the pace car. Good time to take you through the running order. Coming off of our first caution on lap 12 or so. We are now on lap 14. We are running order. David Clymer leading the way over Billy Strange, Doug Hawley, Thomas Dudek, or Tom Jones, Joe Antonio, Tom Monpaz. I'm sorry, I'm screwing everybody's name up. Tom Monpaz, Grant Anderson, Brandon Powell, Brandon Waters, William Martinez, El Bucho, John Crane, Sean C. Brand, John G. Hill, Willie Lemonin, Lee Helbert, Robert Windsor, Severiano Espinoza, Mike Will, and Jesse Conroy. They are now going side by side for the restart.
Oh, goodness me.
You guys crack me up every day.
We got 2 Thomases, and one of them is the Blue something.
Nobody goes by their name around here, unfortunately.
No, they got their nicknames, or Discord names, or what have you.
I have a whole cheat sheet of all of them, but even those, like Tom Montpaz, I know him as TMO Shamo.
Shamo?
So
I call him Tom Cow because his profile picture is of a cow.
So sorry, my Toms, for crisscrossing you guys as we get ready for this restart. We got David Clymer on the inside in that gray Simpit sponsored car down low. Billy Strange in the red and black right in front of Tom here. And down to the inside, that's Joa Antonio. Our top 4. I'm sorry, Doug Hawley. Sorry about that. Joa Antonio's in 5th right behind. And pace car should be pulling in right now. And David Clymer's going to set the speed, and away they go. Great start by Dave. Looks like Billy a little late to get on the gas. We got a bunch up of 3 cars here going into turn 1. Doug down inside of Billy. Not sure. It looks like Billy can come down if he needed to at this point in time. And he does, securing that 2nd position. So we are now David Clymer, Billy Strange, Doug Hawley, and Tom Dudek.
Joe Antonio is looking to get by Tom Dudek, which is looking to get by Doug Hawley.
And there is Joe Antonio in that light blue car with Sean Cole all over it. Great paint job by Joe. Still laughing about that. Little embarrassed, mostly laughing.
Embarrassed? Oh, caution.
Oh,
Second one.
Lou had a problem.
No, it's not your fault. He turned off.
Brandon Waters did. He's got damage on his first.
Oh.
You guys are making at the back.
Oh, some more.
Martinez.
Jesse Conroy getting another little action there. Oh, Tom Monpaz's truck is a mess. That might be it for Tom.
Yeah, no big deal, man.
Poor Tom.
So here they are. Tom Monpaz up high. Who's that in the 072? 072, William Martinez. Tom comes down in front of him a little bit. William takes him up into the wall, gets into that red and white truck in addition to that. And then you're going to see Jesse Conroy get into the mix as well, unfortunately. And a lot of hurt trucks there on that one, lap 17 of 75. And at some point, we're going to start seeing it start to thin out the field just a little bit as well.
No problem.
John's still climbing, just quietly, safely.
Doing his thing at the back. Just keep it clean, take it easy, wait, and then bring it.
That was like carnage.
As Dave Clymer circles around, he collects the pace car. Billy Strange sitting right behind him. No changes up front.
You can just jump out of your car, jump back in, slap your repairs on. I'll give you a brand new car.
Dennis with Monica.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm still giving him a code.
And we'll see if anybody's coming to pit lane this time by. And it looks like our leaders are not going to pit lane. Actually, they just collected. Yeah, pit lane would have been open that time by. So let's go ahead and take a look at pit lane and see who is coming down. And right now I don't see any trucks. There's one truck coming down pit lane now. Oh, there's Tom in a perfectly fixed truck with our fast repair that we've enabled the guys. Not sure we'll be so generous in the future, but for our first event, it seemed good enough to do.
I heard you.
For Brandon Powell, his received through but fell to an unacceptable level.
Oh, so we got our first casualties, Brandon Powell.
Yep, he's not on the track anymore, and his name's all grayed out.
Lost the room.
Does anybody know if Sean said boogity, boogity, boogity?
No, Sean did not. I think that's copyrighted, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was car space space car
That's the one. That's the one I copyrighted. We're gonna do that at every start now.
I don't know, but you can repair your car to brand new 255 times if you need to.
No, no, lap 20 coming up to the 1/3 mark, which is at lap 25.
I think that's the only time I'm going to be so generous with fast repairs, but it was our first event and all.
Alright, so I'm glad you have been so generous.
So let's see, where are we as we are still circling around caution. Looks like we're on lap 20 at this point. I'm still on my pit lane camera. That doesn't do us any good.
You blinked once on that. I think it was on that restart, just to let you know.
Leaf Hellberg is manually disconnected.
So let's go ahead and go through the grid real quick. We got David Clymer leading the way. Billy Strange in second. Doug Hawley in third in that Texaco paint scheme. Great looking truck there, Doug. Thomas Dudek in the red, black and yellow paint scheme there. And fourth, Joe Antonio in the Simpit sponsor. We'll just call it the Simpit sponsored car. Grant Henderson, there's the Bumblebee, black and yellow. Grant Henderson running in 6th place. Sean Sebran is in that Doritos looking, that's a great looking truck as well. Gotta love Doritos.
Yep, can't complain.
Willie,
John,
what's that?
John Doe says his internet issues got kicked out.
That's harsh. That's very harsh.
Yeah, it is indeed. That's gotta be very annoying.
There's Willie Lemonin running in 8th. John Hill, as we mentioned, in that Haviline truck running in 9th place currently. John Crane in the red, white, and blue 20 truck in 10th. Tom Montpaz in that unscratch. How did that crew do that so quickly? Quite amazing in that 11th place truck.
They got a key in my
Mike Wellman in 12th. Oh, and we are underway. I guess we'll watch things from the back of the grid a little bit here right now since we're already here. The nose of these trucks look a little floaty to me right now. Tires look a little skinny on the trucks as well, it seems. That's one of the things that makes it such a handful to handle. So back up front with the leaders, David Clymer leading the way. Billy Strange right behind him. And you can see that blue bumper of David Clymer giving him an A license. Billy Strange with that green. I believe that's a C license. Or is that a B license? Not that that comes into play today, because we are all on an even playing field today.
Yeah, C is a yellow, B is green. Stuff that's in your head.
And David Clymer's still running that higher line. He seems to be running a little bit higher. How they great action in the back of the grid. I did kind of miss that, didn't I? There wasn't a lot to see, it looked like. Sorry about that. And this front three getting a little bit of a gap. Actually, here we go. Car, gap, car, gap. Is that what we're looking at, everybody?
Pretty much.
Go ahead and go to a wider shot so we can get a little more of the action as these guys are on their 24th of 75 laps. So the 25 lap will be a third of the way through this event. You can see Billy Strange and David Clymer getting a little bit of a gap over Doug Hawley and Thomas Dudek.
And speaking of the rookie license, the drivers got that highest position in the rookie license field here. There's John Crane in 9th. And he's got 11 positions from 20th.
And there we are with John Crane in that red, white, and blue truck, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, or is he in the green? I'm sorry, John Crane is in, yeah, the number 20, red, white, and blue. I'm sorry about that. Currently running in 9th place. And that's Robert Winsler behind him in that number 1 truck. And then that would be Jesse Conroy in that very similar paint scheme he had in that Mazda with that gray, blue, and purple kind of paint scheme.
I have to say, I really am a fan of Sean Seburn's paint job. It makes you want to eat some snacks.
That'd be Sean Seabrand there in the Doritos paint job, and I'd love to have some burritos. Just wouldn't make for very good broadcasting, hearing me crunch away. And oh, it looks like we have some action up there in that 3rd position. Come on, Cole, get it together.
Joe Antonio is fighting for 4th.
It's all behind Tom Dudek. Joe Antonio back to 5th again. So if I'm not mistaken, what we saw was Tom move into 3rd. I believe Doug was ahead of him prior to that moment there. And a little bit of space opening up. So you can see just a little hint of a lead there by David Clymer over Billy Strange there in the front position. And then a little bit of a gap back to that 3, 4, and 5 combo. Still running that medium-high line and looking really smooth around the track, David Clymer is. And again, we did some practice, and I was really impressed with what I saw. Actually, from both of these guys, Billy Strange was doing a great job with that truck as well. And, you know, he's quite familiar with the oval scene when it comes to racing. And Billy Strange actually has a background in sprint car dirt tracking. So if there's anybody who knows how to wheel a car around a track, it's Billy Strange.
He can be a good coach if iRacing puts him on the license in 20 years.
Checking back on that battle for 3, 4, 5. Oh, Doug Hawley. Looks like he just got up into the wall. A little wrinkle on that right front side. Let's get a replay of that real quick. And it looks like just coming off. This is the hard spot of the track. Coming off at turn 4, the truck gets a little bit of loss of grip. And it looks like he just bumped that outside wall, which is really easy to do. And now Doug's going to be dying for a caution so he can go do a fast repair. And you see Grant Henderson in that Bumblebee yellow and black truck pulling up right behind Doug, fighting over 5th position now. Doug brings it down low.
Pit roll shenanigans. A little bit there. Yeah, under control. Good job, Doug. Turns 1 and 2 on quick fast and turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looks like Doug's really, he's coming to pit lane with that hurt truck, locks him up, and gets onto pit lane smoothly, and he's going to go down there and get some repairs. That moves John Hill up into 8th position. He goes by Doug Hawley there on pit lane.
John Crane is now up to 7th, 2 spots from the top 5.
There you go, and he's got a whole mirror full of Jesse Conroy, who I believe is running in 17th place, 4 laps down.
Oh, Brandon Waters now got some into the infield.
Oh! Jesse gets into the back. Great save. Oh, and then, oh! And we are right on the action there, as just as we started talking about John Crane moving up, Jesse Conroy just barely touches him from behind, and that causes just the accordion effect of him slipping. And then I believe that was Robert Winsler's 2 laps down, who then finished it off and ran into him. We'll be under caution for a while. We can go ahead and get a replay of that action real quick.
John Crane's got some damage on his truck.
So we see him leading the way, John Crane, and this whole group of mostly cars a lap down. Jesse gets a run. Just a little bit of a tap. He almost saves it. And he hits that apron, and it kind of kicked him again. That slowed him up, and that just allowed that number 1 truck of Robert Winsler to get into him.
Yeah, and you only have 9 trucks on the lead lap out of 19.
So here we are, lap 32 of 75, and now we have seen a little bit of carnage. We're seeing some hurt trucks. He'll be able to go down to pit lane, and since it's our first race ever, he'll be able to do a fast repair and just get that truck all cleaned up like we've seen by some of the others, which will help keep everybody in contention today. John Crane having a great run, so it'd be a shame to see him out of this race. He should be able to maintain. If he does it right, he should be able to stay on the lead lap and have a brand new car.
Back on pit road, I was doing tires, damage, more tires. I don't know about fuel.
Watching our leaders as they circle around. David Clymer's got his 2 wheels over that lower line.
Joe Antonio got off pit road first.
So some of them are going to pit lane and some of them are not. And we are now 33 laps into this race, under caution. And here our leader's coming to pit lane. It looks like, yes he is. Our top 3 are all coming to pit lane. And you can see most of our leaders are coming, and a few cars did choose to stay out. Who stayed out?
One pass. I don't think.
Looks like Willie Lemonin is our first car who did not go down pit lane. A lot of damage on that car. Actually, I see Tom Montpaz did not go in, but he's a lap down, so he might just be setting up that lucky dog and maybe getting himself back on the lead lap as everybody else is on pit lane. The virtual leader right now is Willie Lemonin. Joa Antonio, it's showing in second, but we still need to wait for scoring to pick up after everybody cycled through the pits, which we should have kept our eye on to see the race off of pit lane, which we did miss.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, no, Sean's the one who's sorry. He's the one who screwed it up.
Okay.
So let's see here. As they come around, I see David Clymer. Looks like he's behind Joa Antonio at this point. And I know Joa did go to pit lane, but it looks like he beat David Clymer off of pit lane. We have enough time probably to go back and check that. Yep, there we go. So, what did Joa do? Looks like Joa might have just taken 2 tires, perhaps?
Probably only right side tires because on ovals, you know, turning left and all that, your right sides will wear up quicker than the left sides, I think.
You can see Billy Strange there in the number 1 spot. Clymer behind. Joa gets off first. Clymer second. Billy Strange having that. Oh no! It looks like Tom Dudek beat Billy Strange off of pit lane.
Antonio up the second. Bill Lemonin in first place. David Clymer, Thomas Dudek in the second row.
All right, lights are out on the pace car. Willie Lemonin, who did not come to pit lane, sitting in that number 1 spot, but he's on some old tires. Everyone behind him is on fresh tires. And I see that John Crane did get his truck fixed, and it looks like he did stay on the lead lap. 11 cars still on the lead lap.
John Crane now in 8th.
Coming to the line, it's going to be Willie Lemonin to the inside, Joa Antonio to the outside, David Clymer in 3rd, Thomas Dudek in 4th, Billy Strange in 5th, Grant Henderson, Sean Seabrand, John Crane and John Hill, and Mike Willman rounding out the top 10. As we get ready to go back to green, they're completing. This will be starting off at lap 37. Green flag at lap 37. Willie gets a good jump, able to get out all alone, and it looked like that was Dave Clymer getting inside of Joa Antonio. And he makes a clean pass, taking over second and going back to that high line right away. That lets Joa come down on the inside and Willie down the middle, coming down the backstretch. See a lot of little wiggles of,
Wall contact.
Willie gets loose and,
Caution, Rick. Wow. That was Joe Antonio. Oh, big hit into the pit road wall.
Gets like a diesel and then pass repaired.
All right, let's see what happened there. So,
Oh, man, Joe Antonio now both blew out his engine.
Sorry, guys.
And damaged, too.
so Joa Antonio just gets a little loose on his own coming off of turn 4. He's up between 3 and 4. He's down low. We were on the action there with Willie, and just a self-spin by Joe Antonio. Climber hits him. Strange hits him. Oh!
There's nothing we can do, man.
Really good evasion by Billy. Wow.
And that was John G. Hill.
That's Nathan.
Yep, Joe Antonio self-spawn that. And got a couple drivers collected.
Alright, checking up on the exit.
John G. Hill inside of Tom there, coming down low, and he's got nowhere to go as he runs into the crash up ahead and really hurts the front end of that truck. He's trying to get down low and avoid it, but Joa just keeps coming, and there's nowhere for John to go.
Joe Antonio back down the track in 10th place. He's the last truck on the lead lap, and he's slowing down on turn 3. Now he's stopping. Now he's going to the bottom of the track.
Oh, hard hit, hard hit.
Yep, Joe Antonio's now stopped at the bottom of turn 3.
Okay, take care, John.
John G. Hill has manually disconnected.
Oh no.
I see. I think Joe Antonio had to wait somebody to go by. Yep, he's not moving again.
So at this point, lap 39 laps. We are on our 39th lap, I should say. And, yeah, Rhino, we're having a good time out here in these trucks. We got Grant Henderson now in the lead of the
I
race.
don't know, I think that's a clear on the green.
I'm just gonna stay up.
Tom Dudek in second. Sean Seabrand up to third.
But I'm not even doing the
John Crane started in 20th, now up to 4th. And looks like we have some shuffling around. I believe that's somebody getting the lucky dog, perhaps? Or no, just some shuffling around. That was Doug Hawley getting slated back where he belongs in 5th place.
John Crane was up to 4th place when starting in 20th on the grid. A gain of 16 places. So that's definitely a hard charge overall right there.
John can do an in-truck replay, but what I saw,
So I guess since Doug kind of crashed and pitted like only one lap before everyone else pitted, it made it so it wasn't as bad of a penalty.
I'm going to try to do that, Tom. Tom said, I don't know if Sean can play what I saw, but... And that's about when I put it in Tom's
Grant,
truck.
Sorry about coming up on you so fast. I was looking at my rearview mirror.
Here he is sitting out in about that 6th position. Looks like trucks are pretty much 3 wide going into turn 3. There we see Willie get up into the wall. Joa spins. Nice avoidance by Tom as he maintains that 2nd position unscathed. Well done, Grant Henderson. There's him taking over the lead. And that's them under caution. And it looks like the pace lights are out. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing.
And John Crane is one of the rookie guys out there in 4th place, starting from 20th. That's definitely a great job on his part. Especially for a rookie too.
Now I think at this point all eyes are going to be on Dave Clymer, who's going to do this restart in 8th position after fixing his car. Billy Strange in 7th position. These are the 2 guys who've really been the fastest trucks on the track all night long, starting in 7th and 8th after that incident that really affected the front of the grid this time more than the mid or back of the grid. And this is lap 41 of 75, so we are past the halfway mark already. What was that, our 3rd or 4th caution?
I think it was our 4th. I'm right.
So we're going to go ahead and keep our eye on Sean Seabrand running in 3rd spot in that Doritos truck as they go green. Grant Henderson gets a jump. Looks like he's going to control the field. That's Tom Dudek to the inside, but Sean Seabrand has pulled up beside him down low. He's even down low below Grant Henderson, who's going to maintain that number 1 spot. We're going to have a battle off of turn 2 for that 2nd position. Sean Seabrand not carrying as much speed down the low line. but taking the shorter way around the track. Tom Dudek on the outside. They're still side by side, and you got Doug Hawley trying to squeeze behind. Sean gets into the thing. Great recovery by him. He keeps that truck going the right direction, and you see him just move back through the field, but keep it under control. Billy Strange all the way up to 4th spot already, and David Clymer in 5th.
Oh, wow.
And there they run side by side right behind Doug Hawley. Just the way they like to be and have been running all night. Billy Strange down low, Dave Clymer up high. The only problem is they got a whole bunch of Doug Hawley in their way right now.
Doug's a problem.
Billy Strange down low. He gets inside of Doug Hawley. Will he be able to make it stick coming off? Doug's going to get a great run off of turn 2 down the backstretch. He's got the draft of Dave Clymer pushing him from behind. And he's got about a half trunk length lead over Billy Strange as they head into 3. Billy Strange still down low. Not clear for Doug as Billy Strange is going to be able to get a run. The inside line seems to work pretty well coming off of 3-4, but not be as good coming off of turn 2. Thank you, old dog. I miss them. I got to get back to the DIY rigs. And Doug Hawley gets that advantage and pulls ahead of Billy Strange. Clymer to the outside. And he's just kind of waiting patiently as he sits there in 5th place. Checking back in with our leader, Grant Henderson. And he seems to have built up just a little bit of a gap there over Tom Dudek. And Doug Hawley is about a half a second back of Tom Dudek there. So these front 2 are starting to get away a little bit. And you see that race for 3rd is really the most exciting thing going on in the track right now. Doug Hawley still holding on to that 3rd position. Billy Strange once again down low.
Trying to get behind the inside, but also got David Clymer caught him
In the inside line, I can tell.
And there he goes. It looks like he finally has the pass done, and Dave Clymer goes by as well. Doug back to 5th spot as the 2 guys who've been the strongest all day are back in 3rd and 4th. Strange ahead of Clymer.
Mike Roman is apparently not on track. His name's all grayed out. And Jesse Conway is not just named and disconnected. He got disqualified, Jesse Conway.
I wonder what happened to him to get him disqualified. So you see, the leaders are actually
he didn't show the black flag.
We missed the pass happening, but it looks like Tom Dudek has moved into the front. Grant Henderson back in 3rd. Let's back up just a little bit and see how Tom made that move to the front. Looks like here coming into turn 3-4. Tom's trailing him a bit. Keeps it down low off of 4. Gets a strong run. Gets the pass made before. The little kink in the tri-oval kind of thing that you got there going on at Charlotte. I don't know what you call that. Flat quad oval. That makes sense. I guess there are. It's I don't know if you can even use the word oval to describe it. So there you go. Tom Dudek to the front. And now what we see is Grant Henderson dealing with the combination of Billy Strange and Dave Clymer, who seem to both work their way through, knocking Grant back to 4th place. And it's now Billy Strange back up to 2nd in pursuit of Tom Dudek.
And Tom Dudek has got more of a half a car length on Billy Strange. So it's got a nice cushion there.
And I would think, and this is about when I'd expect to see some sort of a green flag run. I think people have gotten some of that. We did great in the beginning, started to get dicey. We thinned out the grid just a little bit, and I think people are starting to come with terms with their positions, and we should see a pretty good run, which could even take us all the way to the finishes. We are now 51 of 75 laps as Tom Dudek maintaining that half-second lead over Billy Strange and Dave Clymer, who they are coming, though. Those guys are coming on strong.
Yeah, Billy Strange is
A lot of coke happening on the track. People come to terms with what position they're going to be in, so they don't have to do anything crazy.
Yeah, at some point it kind of takes the fight out of you a little bit.
a little bit there, 2/3 mark.
But we stand corrected as a caution comes out as we try to figure out where it is and who it is and what happened out there.
And what the bacon's going on, and who's getting the pizza tonight.
Oh, Sean Seabrand is correcting the directions.
And he just went on the pit road just like that.
So what happened to Sean Seabrand? Oh, contact off of 4. Car spun around onto the side, almost onto the roof, and that car's a mess. He crosses the finish line, and everybody seems to have avoided him okay. My concern, if he went in the pits like this, I wonder if he's going to get any kind of a black flag or kind of penalty for
illegal entry.
Yeah, and that could
from the track through the grass into pit road. I mean, I think in real life you get a black flag for illegal entry.
Checking up on the back stretch. Checking up on the back stretch.
So we hear Doug Hawley as he's checking up. Tom Dudek in search of the pace car as he completes lap number 52. He's now on lap 53 of 75. And it'll be interesting to see who goes in the pits this time with just, 22 laps left in the race. And they're all clean checked up. I see Dave Clymer went down onto the banking just to make, or the bumper just to make sure there's no contact by anybody. Tom Dudek, Billy Strange, Dave Clymer, Doug Hawley, Grant Henderson, Joe Antonio, John Crane, Willie Lemonin, Thomas Monpaz, and Sean Seabrand are our top 10. And they come around out of turn 4. Let's see who goes to pit lane. Doug Hawley already showing signs for pit lane, and it looks like our top 4 are all going. One car stayed out.
Wow. Well,
Who stayed out? Grant Henderson, once again, stayed out. And he is now the leader of the race, of that leading group. Now, other cars did stay out. I see the one car, Robert Winsler, who's getting the wave around, getting the lucky dog, and picking up a lap. And let's see, Robert Winsler is 1 lap down. That should put him back on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. Grant Henderson stayed out.
Brandon, you bitten?
Billy Strange won that race off pit road there.
Severano Espinoza is in second on track, but he's actually in 12th position, and he is 3 laps down. So we're going to see some shuffling around when everybody comes out. Let's go ahead and check on pit lane, see what's going on there. Looks like Tom Dudek might be the first one off of pit lane. Nope, I see Joe Antonio up there. Billy Strange already out there. I kind of missed the pit lane action once again. There's Billy Strange, who we'll have to see after they cross the line here. It looks like Billy Strange is only in the 5th position on track with fresh tires.
He's now second, Billy Strange.
Yeah, with some lap cars between him and Grant Henderson at this point. Tires are a really big factor here. I mean, I think your tires are fine to get you to the end of the race. That's not in question. Will Grant Henderson be able to hold off? And he's already been through this once. We saw it before where he was the one who stayed out. And he just kind of went backward a little bit. So we see black cars getting shuffled back. And just like that, Grant Henderson is looking at a mirror full of Billy Strange with fresh tires. Joe Antonio in 3rd, Tom Dudek in 4th, David Clymer in 5th.
So yeah, maybe that was Billy's plan all along. It looks like maybe now he'll just try to kind of hold the position, I guess. And
from what I saw in practice, you know, if you're in that top 10 and everyone's going in, you got to go in. I don't see how Grant's going to be able to hold him off. But maybe Grant's strategy is if I went to pit lane, I wasn't going to necessarily beat him there. And who knows where I'd come out. Now it's how many can I defend myself against. And, you know, we are down to 20 laps to go in the race at this point. Well, with 1 lap to go. We're at 21 laps left in the race, sorry.
Do you think maybe David Clymer was taking that high upside, that line, maybe to try to get Billy off of him, off of his draft, knowing that that's what Billy was trying to do, so he's trying to counter that? Is he still going higher than as high as he was before now?
Yeah, it has seemed like Dave's been running that high line all day long, and I wonder, was it that's the angle he likes to drive? Is he protecting the tires? But like you said, he might be showing one card and playing something else without showing people that he can go low and do something else. So
That's sneaky.
yeah, and you know, laps are ticking down. So now is about when we're going to start expecting to see people doing what it takes to move forward, doing what it takes to finish in a higher position. And this is all for bragging rights. We do have a Simpit t-shirt that I'll be giving away on Monday's pit stop in honor of this race. It'll go... Oh, I'm not caught up with the grid. Sorry, you guys. And there we go. Grant Henderson crossing the line. He's got a jump. He's got the lead. He's going to be able to take a good line into one. We got Billy Strange, the outside of Joa Antonio. David Clymer in 4th place down low, right behind Joa. And there he's going to stay on that low line. We just talked about the line that he's going to pursue. Somebody there in the 43 truck. That's Doug, is it? Oh!
Don't get some wrecking, that caution.
Yep, that was, it looked like...
Another damage for Joe Antonio. Man.
Well.
Caution breeds caution.
Thomas Dudek got some damage as well.
So it looks like Joa just came down a little too much, and David Clymer was there. That was just enough to send Joa Antonio around. The only downside of that is that a few other guys got wrapped up in it as well.
Welcome to Randy Round.
Was very limited.
A lot of trucks getting caught up in that one. We're going to have to get another replay of this.
Sorry, Brandon, I tried to save you like I could.
A lot of things went wrong there. Let's get a shot of this from Willie's perspective. Willie down in the bumper area, apron. Things going wrong. You see all sorts of smoke. And he gets a little tap behind and into the pit lane wall, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, he just avoids hitting that pit lane wall.
007, I gotta get by you.
We see some damage on the front of Tom Monpas's truck. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, and that was
some,
John
damage.
Crane slowing up in front of him. You see the action. He's being cautious, and oh, and that one truck slips up to avoid contact. Car still making contact. 217 spinning out after the fact. That was Severiano Espinoza in that truck. So a lot of cars involved in that one.
I see Lee Martinez got some damage on the back end of his truck as well.
MW got disqualified.
Yeah, he wasn't serving the flags.
I believe
the
that's
black flag.
Mike Wilnan we're talking about. Good job, Mike. Glad you showed up. You were talking about not wanting to ride because you haven't done oval before, but I hope you had a good time. So Grant Henderson's still in the lead, and we are 59 laps into this race. They'll be taking the line and going on to the 60th lap. 75 total laps here in our event. Grant Henderson in the lead. Billy Strange still in second. David Clymer now in 3rd place. Tom Dudek in 4th. Doug Hawley in 5th. Tom Montpas was in 6th. He's on pit lane. That'll probably cycle him back behind John Crane, Robert Winsler. Joa Antonio's back out on the track in a fresh-looking truck. Got to hand it to these crews, making these wrecked trucks look perfect in a matter of half a lap.
Yeah, speaking of time, but I think 51 minutes went by, so we got about, I think, half an hour to wrap this up, but I think we'll get another 15 laps in before.
I think we'll be able
we get to
to.
an hour and 25 minutes.
We should be able to handle that. But it is a little shocking to see 51 minutes into this and we're only 59 laps. That means our average lap time is upward of 50-something seconds on a track that they can tick laps off in the 30-second range. So we are a bit behind schedule. A little more caution than we were hoping to see. It looked like we had some hope. It went green for a while in the beginning, and I was pretty optimistic, but now we're kind of seeing what we expected. And you know, just in the
action out there.
yeah, a lot of action in the defense of these drivers. These trucks are not easy to drive. That's a tough car to drive at this track.
Yeah, no, the IndyCar is just eat you for breakfast if you're not careful.
So it looks like the lights are out on the pace cars. They go 2 wide for our restart on lap 61. Grant Henderson down low. Billy Strange to the outside. Dave Clymer in third down low. Tom Dudek to the outside. Doug Hawley down low. Joa Antonio to the outside, or will be in a moment. Somebody should be up there in that 6th spot outside in row 3. Looks like Joe is trying to find his way around some cars to get up to that spot, but he's back in the grid a little bit. They might even wave off the green flag. Nope, there we go. Well, I see somebody moving up. That was actually Tom Montpas moving up into that 6th spot on the outside when everything gets settled here. Pace cars in. And Grant Henderson gets on the gas. Billy Strange gets a good run on the outside. Dave Clymer gets an even better run to the inside. And we have another problem as it looks like Dave Clymer got into the rear of Grant Henderson just a little bit and sends him around, and that did bring out the caution as Grant Henderson, looks like everything's okay on that truck. He'll just get it back underway and we'll be, oh! Tough to do that on the banking. Get her turned around.
Yeah, I think Grant Henderson didn't check his left side and came down low for David Clymer to spread him out.
And let's go ahead and get a replay of that. Let's go ahead and actually Tom Dudek should have a pretty good view of what's going on here. You see Grant Henderson in that black and yellow truck. Dave Clymer, yeah, he just got to run to the inside. I don't think Grant knew he was even there. Just the slightest of moves and it was enough to cause contact between the two. And that's going to happen. Especially as the laps start ticking down. So that's going to change things up for a restart in just a handful of laps. I don't expect to see any of our leaders coming to pit lane under the circumstances.
Yeah. I'm thinking that maybe Grant had his spotter off, or that maybe his spotter was delayed.
Pace car in 1.
So we'll wait. It'll take a couple laps till we get this restart going.
Sean is the lucky dog.
Since someone said they had day tires on, is there such a thing as day tires and night tires?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think there's a difference between.
Oh, did that happen?
I don't think that exists.
The last car.
Rhino's race room. Said it in chat.
Day tires, night tires, are pretty much the same, I guess.
And we see Sean Seabrand in that Doritos truck getting the lucky dog and getting by, going around and cycling around to the back of the grid again.
Keep going, Sean, all the way around the track.
No, there is no Helicorsa in Al, but there is a spotter that will tell you if they're inside or outside. Sometimes they're a couple frames behind, and that was very close right there. It was very close. There was almost no contact, actually.
Yeah.
Tough break for Grant Henderson, though, going from the lead to, I'm assuming he went in for some tires. And,
yeah, he was running so good this entire race, and now he's only down to 10 in the race.
John, you didn't go? I thought you were going to go see Fat Boy Slim. So our running order at this point is Billy Strange leading the way, Doug Hawley running in second, David Clymer back in third, Tom Dudek in fourth, Tom Montpas in fifth, Joa Antonio in sixth, John Crane up to seventh, Willie Lemonin in eighth, Robert Winsler in ninth, Brandon Waters is running in 13th, but the next in position on the track, and I believe that's Grant Henderson, yeah, back into 10th place. So after that, Grant Henderson went from first all the way back to 10th place. Tough break for Grant, but honestly, we still have 10 laps to go. There's plenty of time to move up in this field. I don't know about catching and passing the likes of Billy Strange and Climber at this point. Doug Hawley's proven to look pretty strong here down the end of the race.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's anyone that can do it, it's Doug. Doug might win this. He still might win this race, but
Yeah, Doug's quite the driver.
And we're closing on the 1 hour mark too.
So we're going to put our camera on Doug Hawley, who's going to start on the outside of the front row. Billy Strange is going to set the speed and the pace once the pace car pulls in, and we are on lap 66. So this is 10 laps total left in this race of 75, and 10 laps left in our first ever Patron dual sport race, which has been a lot of fun. We've seen some great racing. We've seen some tragic racing. All in all, we've had a good, fun day. And one more time, I just want to thank you all for being here, watching the race, partaking in the race, and most of all, just being part of the Patron team.
I guess next time is over first, low second, right? And switch it up.
I think next time we're going to be on a different sim, so I don't think we're going to do a dual thing next time. But we'll have to decide. It's a we, not me. As we get ready, pace car caution. Pace car should be coming to pit lane. Here he is. Billy Strange setting the tone. Green flag is waving. Billy gets a jump. Climber gets a jump. Doug does not. He's going to drop back to third. Tom Dudek also might be able to... No, Tom's not going to be able to get a run. So it's Billy Strange, David Climber, Doug Hawley, and Tom Dudek, Joe Antonio, Tom Monpas, and Willie Lemonin. And here we are, back to that battle, but what's different? We got Dave Climber down low, Billy Strange up high, Doug into the back of Billy. Oh, now everybody's into that one.
Oh, Will Martinez just got a little tap at the end.
Oh, rough.
Number 14 of, like if I remember here, Brandon Waters just slowly went on by.
Whoa, that was too.
He's like, alright, bye.
So let's see what happened there. We're on board with Doug. He's to the outside. Billy Strange leading the way. Climber comes inside of Strange. Doug doesn't know where to go. Do I go high? Do I go low? Do I go in the middle? He stays behind Billy and just carries a little more speed and gets into the back of Billy and puts him up into that wall hard. Terrible wreck. And then these guys are just in the middle, and a few more cars get caught up in it. Let's go ahead and get that one more time from the TV angle. Just the pinball effect just keeps going and going.
Bing, 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 bing. And speaking of yellows, I think 15 and 25 of the race laps have been under yellow, so that's, I think, a fifth to a third of the whole race just under yellow.
So there's Doug Hawley, hopefully getting some repairs done. Dave Climber out front. Tom Dudek in second. Joe Antonio in third. Grant Henderson in fourth. John Crane in fifth. Sean Seabrand in sixth. Robert Winsler's on pit lane.
Pit lane's still closed?
Didn't Billy and Doug have an incident with each other last race too?
Yeah,
you had to bring this up. Oh.
I guess they're big rivals.
Yeah, look up.
We're the faster pair.
Did they race at all?
I don't recall how many limit we put on it.
No limit. So it's unlimited.
Hey, Michael Clark, how you doing? Yeah, I would imagine he will be. Tough break for Billy Strange. So, laps are ticking down. We are now on lap 70. So, just 5 laps to go after this one.
9 of the 19 trucks on the lead lap. Billy Strange is 2 laps down in 10th place. So, you know, we still got a top 10 in this battle for now.
I don't think that's what Billy was going for here today.
Nah, he's probably going for a win or a top 3.
So this should make a very interesting shootout to take us to the end of this race and the end of our very first patron. The Elvis has not left the building patron race.
Pace car's left most loud.
I thought you said Elvis.
I did say I meant Ellis. I'm sorry. I keep doing that.
Elvis Presley.
I did not get a chance to watch F1 qualifying today.
I think I was on an
I
incident.
think I'm gonna watch the F1 next tomorrow if I can catch it. That's an if.
That's true. What's the first oval race together?
And we passed the 1 hour mark with only just a couple more laps left to go. David Klein and just keep leading that back, taking off laps. So.
Spoiler alert. Renegade Master to Billy. Alright, we'll be sure to let him know.
What's it like on the inside there?
Billy somewhere just gripping a wheel super
It's
hard.
fine. So the accident happened.
It's like, can we get a clean race in?
Yeah, oval racing gets quite intense, Mike. It's fun. It's you don't get to relax in the world of oval racing ever. You know, sometimes you get.
You almost get relaxed time to time. You must go down.
Yeah, if you
press the oval is just everybody right behind you or in front of you.
yeah.
I mean, everybody's all bunched up.
All right, so lights are out on the pace car. We're coming out of turn 3 into turn 4. Dave Clymer in the lead. We've got just 4 laps to go. Tom Dudek on the outside. Pace car's going to duck in. Joa Antonio to the inside. Grant Henderson back up to 4th after that earlier problem for him. Great jump by Dave Clymer. And he gets away clean. He's going to have no trouble getting away into turn 1 all alone. Joe Antonio right on the back of Tom Dudek.
Tom and Joe have a chance for that battle.
And right now, these guys are the closest battle that I'm seeing right now, and they're battling over 2nd place. Brent Henderson in 4th, just hoping something happens, giving him a shot at that podium position.
If the caution comes out, I think that will be the
Thank you,
race.
Michael. Thank you very much, Michael. We had a blast with that challenge, by the way. So they are now on lap 73 of 75. And I'm going to go to a wider angle so we can really see what's going on here. Little bit of a gap back to Joa, so it seems that Tom Dudek has really got his eyes focused on Dave Clymer at this point.
Yep.
Dave's got a pretty significant lead, though, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can close that gap. Dave's been one of the strongest guys all day long.
2 to go.
He's gonna have to do it now. Maybe if we lock in on him with the camera view and play some classic rock, it'll help him out.
And it looks like about the same gap back to 3rd place, Joa Antonio. So right now, with nothing changes, a lap and a half to go till the end of the race. And I don't see any big...
out there.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty consistently the same gap between them. Clymer takes the white flag and quite a gap back to Sean Seabrand in 4th. Grant Henderson back to 5th now. And I can't even find 6th. Billy Strange looks like he might have moved up a few positions. It shows him in 10th, but I believe... let's get back to Dave Clymer. And we see Dave Clymer coming to the line.
Dudek taking 2nd and Antonio 3rd.
And no changes.
Henderson in 5th.
Yeah, you two good race there.
So a clean finish after a really eventful last second half of the race. I hear the fireworks are blowing right now.
Yeah, we had like 19 minutes left on the clock. So, not
I was
good.
here for the first race.
No, I said Thomas won both races, I think.
Here, can I,
Nope, David got that one.
oh,
Oh, okay.
Nice job in the other race there, Thomas. Wish I could have been there.
there they are. Fireworks, yay.
Thank you.
4th of July, bump.
And there we have the finish of our race. As Dave Clymer is able to get it done, finish the race with a 0.4 of a second lead over Tom Dudek. Joe Antonio in third, Sean Seabrand, Pro Sim TNT, finishing in fourth, Grant Henderson in fifth, John Crane in sixth, Thomas Montpaz in seventh, Willie Lemonin in eighth, Robert Winsler in ninth, and Billy Strange finishing in 10th with Doug Hawley right behind him. Brandon Waters, William Martinez, Severiano Espinoza, Mike Willman, Jesse Conroy, John Hill, Leif Hellberg, Brandon Powell round out our top 20 and our entire grid for the event. So,
and Brandon Waters having fun out there just wrecking the truck.
So what did you guys think? How did things look for you, and what did you think of our first patron race?
I was impressed with David Clymer. He was super fast, super consistent the whole time. At the end there, I thought it was going to be a shootout between him and Billy and Doug, and then got a little anticlimactic, but besides that, a lot of exciting stuff happened.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that played out, but those things do happen. And
could Billy have caught him? Could he have passed him? We'll never know.
We won't know,
John,
but...
you're still here?
Yeah, we're all still here, and if I had to pick my...
I looked at that replay. That was my fault, bro. I thought I was down lower than I was. I kind of came up a little, you came down a little bit. Pretty much my fault. Sorry about that.
The guy with the,
That's all right, David. Appreciate
just a tough break award, I would give that to Brandon J. Powell. He started 12th and finished 19th.
Yeah, and I think if we had a tough break of the day award, it would probably go to Billy Strange, who managed to find some trouble that really took him out of contention in both races. So hopefully he's still in decent spirits. I see a big sorry thrown out from Doug there in the chat going to Billy, and those things do happen.
Yeah.
So
it's just classic Billy. It's nothing.
Yeah, put that on the move there. I give it to John Crane's down in 20th. Finished in 6th, made up 14 positions. That's the biggest move I've seen for the whole race.
Yeah, good job by him moving up through the grid. And so ultimately, I'm real proud of the group. You know, I forced people to deal with something kind of challenging, switching from the Miata to the truck. I like the idea of just showing up to Charlotte for 2 different races. It just felt like a fun event. But it definitely put these guys through the paces, having to do both disciplines in the same day with very little adjustment time between. But the main thing is this race was really about our patron team and about the guys that, I gotta tell you, we started this patron thing not knowing how it would go. And we are up to 85 or 86 members at this point. And a good majority of us hang out on Discord all day long chatting, and it is a lot of laughs and a lot of fun, and a lot of good friendships have been built up there, and including things that are even leading to like extracurricular beyond sim racing activities. So it's really turned into something fascinating, and it has really put the core to the community behind the Simpit. And I just want to, once again, the whole point of this race was to thank those guys from my heart, from my team, from the Simpit, and let them know that their contribution, their effort, their being part of the patron team is going a long way from our end, and really changing the face of the Simpit, changing the way we get things done, the way we do it, and upgrading the show. Each month we were able to get more things. Maybe we're going to do a computer upgrade, make the streams even better, but it's really made a big change in the overall outlook of the Simpit, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And it's really changed everything from the world of doing this. Not feeling so alone anymore. I feel like I have a whole huge team out there helping me out. And I want to thank you all one more time, because it's been better than I ever could have possibly imagined or predicted. So thank you all. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Nick.
I want to thank you, Sean.
Oh, thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's super nice of you. Thank you, Sean.
So
You're welcome, Sean. It's great to be a big help.
So now what we're going to have to do is get to work and figure out what we want to do next time. I think we're going to change the sim so we can make sure that other people who aren't maybe in iRacing get a chance to race with us as well. And we'll talk about that in the not too distant future. that's going to do it for me on the streaming end today. I'm probably off the air tomorrow, but I'll be back Monday morning, 9 a.m. with the pit stop and kick off another week of sim racing here at the Simpit. That's going to do it today. Thanks again for being here. Thank you for being part of the team. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.